Hey guys, this is Sarah with SarahleeCrochet&Fabrics, and I am here to do a quick crochet with me video on making this cute little hats. I love this pattern because it's one of my go-to patterns whenever I am working on vendor days and really just looking for an easy pattern to crochet and not think about it. So this pattern, well, this crochet hat, I actually go by measurement method, so I don't necessarily have a certain amount of rows or anything that I do, because I use the same method for crocheting children's hats, men's hats, slouchy hats. So it's all about measurement is what I use. It just works out better because, you know, yarn is different. So you may use a bulky yarn, you may use a 4-weight, you can even use a 3-weight. But usually I do use 4-weight or above with this, making this hat. So I just measure. So of course I'll need my measuring tape. I'm using a 4.0 crochet hook, some sort of scissors or cutting device, and a dart needle, because you will need that to close the top of the hat. And then also I bought a trusty little tablet. It has nothing to do with what we're doing today, but I was excited. I got this off of Amazon. It was 50 bucks. I happen to have a gift card from my job, so I used that, so it ended up being just a few dollars for the taxes. So it is the Fire, Amazon Fire. Is an older model. It is refurbished and it's 16 gig and it's really, really good, because I really want it because I'm doing some live with TikTok crocheting or sewing, and I needed another device to be able to like read comments when my phone was recording. So just to quickly show you kind of how it looks, let me click on one of my videos here, and it's a really good device if you are looking for, lower the volume, if you're looking for a tablet or something of that nature. So I think it's good. It's the 8-inch. I believe they have up to a 10-inch. So yeah, I like it. So just wanted to show you guys that real quick before I get started. Let me lay that back over here. So the yarn I'll be using, this is the specs on it. It is 4-weight medium. It's by Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn. It is called Limelight and is 355 yards and acrylic yarn. So that's what that looks like. I will be, let me show you how the yarn actually looks. That's how it looks like, really bright. And it is something I unraveled. I ended up frogging it, a project I was working on. So if you see me kind of, because once you frog it and rewrap it, it kind of is weird sometimes. So if you see me fighting with it, that's what I'm doing. So let me set this other hat. Oh, well, what we'll be working on is the brim part right here. I'm starting that first, and let's go ahead. And this is not a teach along or anything like that. It's just if you already know how to crochet, then this is pretty much what this is for, or just crocheting with me. So first step is 7 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Oh, don't split on me. Okay. And then the second chain from the hook, we will start our single crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so it'll be six single crochets. And so we chain 1 to turn around, and then right in the first stitch right there, we will work in the back loop. Only for this project, well, for most of this hat will be back loops only. So 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. It will always be 6. All right, so you just keep working along. How's everyone doing? I've been off for a few days, took some time off. I really hope to get my craft room in order, but that did not work out so much. I haven't been in there. Yeah. But I had the plan to do it, but I just didn't do it. That's about it. So just keep working in there. And usually I'll work this until I get to the length of the head circumference. So typically for an adult hat, I will wish the head circumference is typically, at least my head circumference is about 21.5 inches, I believe. So I will usually have this be about 19, because it does have that stretch to it. But you can certainly do a larger or smaller, whatever works for you. Now I will tell you something that I do with this. So usually once I do about 7 or 8 rows of this, you can do more. It's not a big stickler for me. I will one row, instead of going through the back stitch, I will actually go through the actual all of it, like both stitches, and do 2 rows of that. Now why I do that is because I think it helps with the stretch lasting of these hats. So when my method anyway, my way of looking at it is that once I go ahead and do those 2 rows of not just the back stitch, doing both stitches, it kind of seals that stretch in between. So I find, at least with my personal hats I use when I do this, because you see how it stretches right here and then it kind of stops right here, so it doesn't overstretch. That's what I see happens, because this kind of blocks this from stretching so much. That's what I do with my hats, and I find that I don't have overstretching over time. So after I do those 2 rows, then I go back to my back stitch only, and then do about 7, 8, 9, whatever rows. Yeah, so that's what I do. I think it works for me. Of course, everybody is different with their methods. There's a 101 million ways of doing things, but this is what I know works for me, because I'm a person who wears my products all the time and wash them and wear them and all that stuff. So that's the method that I discover that works really good for stretching. Okay, so I will continue off camera, and then I will come back when it's time for the next step. Okay guys, so I am back. So I have this at the 9-inch range, or 9.5, that I'm comfortable with. So I am going to go ahead to the next process. So I have it finished on this end. That's where I stopped, and so I will go ahead and put the 2 together. And the way I put this together, I go ahead and chain 1 and sandwich it together. And what I do is that there's 2 stitches on it, 2 loops on each stitch. So we have 1 loop, front loop, back loop, and then the same here, front loop, back loop. So what I do is that I do the back loop to this back loop, and then I'll do a stitch, a single crochet. And so it can be a little finicky, but I do like the look of it, so I deal with it. Oh, come on, don't fuss with me today. Okay. So this is what it looks like. I like it because you can barely tell. That was where I stitched it together. So now I go ahead and chain 1, and I pretty much do a single stitch wherever I want to do a single stitch. Like I said, this is not a pattern method. This is just something I do. Is my method of crocheting this particular hat, because it's an easy method for me and I don't have to think about it too much. So I do an immediate single crochet right there, and then I just do single crochets. I don't I mean, I'm sure there's some sort of amount that I tend to do often, but I just don't have it. I just kind of single crochet. It's not tight, it just works. So I keep doing that, making sure, and you see, like a situation like this where there's a hole right here, I don't like to single crochet in that hole. So I will usually single crochet in the next stitch over and kind of close up that hole, because I don't want that to be defined. Because usually when you, I mean, I will probably have some that have little tiny holes in it, but whenever I get to an area where I can prevent that, I will. So yeah. So I just kind of single crochet around wherever I see fits, and yeah. How's everyone doing? The weather in my area is really nice in the mornings. It's like 60 degrees, 66 to be exact, and then it's going all the way up to 92 today. So I try to do as much in the daytime or morning time as possible, as far as like cleaning and cooking even. I try to do all of that in the morning time to not heat up my kitchen, because oh my gosh, electric costs have gone up so high. Usually around this time, my electric bill, and I don't consume that much electric. The way my house is built, or the direction the windows are facing, and the direction the sun hits my house, it is really a cool temperature house. Even in the summertime, I rarely will turn on my air condition until like the peak of the daytime, just because it's a really cool house. And the thing is, if I stay downstairs of my house, I don't have to even turn on the air conditioner. I can be perfectly comfortable with just a fan. That is given that I don't cook or heat up my kitchen, which is downstairs. If I heat up my kitchen, then it becomes extremely hot downstairs. So that's usually why I try to do everything in the morning, just to kind of, when it's really cool, to keep that cost down, because it is ridiculous. They raised the electric by so much. So you know, that's just one of the things you do to keep your costs down, I guess. So that is what I do. And then of course, if you dare go grocery shopping, that has gone up. I went yesterday. I don't do too much grocery shopping. I try to buy a lot of my food and preserve it, or I do grow some of my vegetables and stuff like that. But I typically buy in bulk if an item is like on sale, and I buy it in bulk and either freeze it, dehydrate it, or can it. So that's pretty much my thing. So anyway, let's get to this. So we're at the end of the single crochet that we did. So we've completed those rounds. And so then the next thing we do, we don't go ahead and join it, because we are going to do continuous work around with this particular project. So the next rows we do will be half double crochet. So instead of like joining, typically we would join to the first single crochet. We will not do that. We will just go ahead and double crochet right in there, and then not double crochet, let me start again to get my terminology. Okay, so we will have double crochet in that stitch, and then just have double crochet in every stitch until we get back to that, because we'll know this place where we did our first half double crochet, and then we will be back to that, and then I'll show you the final stitch that we will just do continuously. So we are just half double crocheting in every stitch. I will try to do my normal speed here, but I do find with this yarn, when I frog it, it splits. It won't split before I frog it, but if I do frog any part of it, it splits a lot. So I kind of have to always be careful until I complete that frogged section, because it's just splitting. But that's the price I pay for frogging, but I'm definitely not gonna waste the yarn just because of that. So yeah, I went to the grocery store really to get a few items, mainly cleaning material. I wanted to get some bleach and stuff like that. Kind of do a little bit of stocking up for fall and winter, so I don't have to worry about going to grocery stores. So I went there and I kind of checked out, bought a couple of like fruit and vegetable items, because I wanted to cook something today and I didn't feel like defrosting some items in my freezer. So I did buy some cabbage and some other little things, not much, but I did notice in my Walmart, which have always remained halfway decent stock, at least as often as I go there, which is not much, but they were really low on bottled water. I don't buy or drink bottled water often. I usually filter my own water and bottle it in a reusable, but I do like to have a couple of cases of bottled water just in case, especially with everything going on around the world these days. So I already had a case already, and so I bought actually 2 more, but they weren't low on it. It actually looks like they were hauling some from the Sam's that's not too far from my Walmart, but I've never seen that before, so I don't know if it's something where they are prioritizing sending water other places, but I don't know. So I just bought those, and then I paid, and it was more money than I thought, as usual, but you know what you're gonna do. But I can't imagine how difficult it must be, especially if you have, you know, children and like a family of 4 or 5 or more, how expensive it must be right now, because you know, kids don't really understand until a certain age about cutting back. I know I certainly didn't. So you know, it must be kind of difficult and stressful on parents trying to keep up with these prices. It's ridiculous, but you know, hopefully everything will get better. Hang in there. All right, so we are at that point where we started doing the half double crochet. You can kind of see the difference. So I will go ahead. What I do is that I stick a half double crochet, because this is where we went from single crochet to half double crochet. Has a little hole there. I just kind of skipped the hole and put a half double crochet next to it to kind of close that gap. Okay, so it closed that gap, and then from now on we will be working in the, and let me show you. So from now on we will be working, not, this is the front loop of the stitch, this is the back loop of the stitch, and then there is a whole little loop back here. That is the loops we'll be working as a continuing loop around and around, and it just gives a really good stretch to these hats. So that's what we'll be doing. So we'll be doing half double crochet right in that loop, just like that, and we will just go round and round. And this is what I love about this project once I get to this point, because I don't have to think about it. I don't have to worry about forgetting where I'm at. I can just continuously go around, and this yarn, oh, it splits. I just can't wait until I pass the area that I frogged, so that is not splitting, but I'll just be extra careful. But yeah, you just keep going around. Usually I will do, it's not a set amount of rows. You can count the rows by these, like these little overhang right here. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and so on, probably like 23 official rows. But really the only part I really concern myself about is how long I will go up before I start decreasing. So usually the decreasing, I go up about 6.5 inches. It just really depends on what you're doing. Now, if you are making like a slouchy hat, oh yeah, then you can go up maybe all the way without decreasing up about 9-10 inches and then start decreasing. Or if you really want a slouchy hat, you can keep going. So that's totally. And then also what affects the length of it, that's why I don't have a specific row, is how your brim is. So right now we're doing a 6-stitch brim was what we did, but you can do your brim larger or smaller. So that's why I just pretty much do by measurements, because sometimes when I'm making slouchy hats, I might make the brim a little longer. So I will just, and when I say longer, I mean like, you know, that way, to have a thicker brim. So once you start doing this, it's defined. You don't have to really search for that back loop like that. It just kind of shows itself. So I like that. Once you complete like a row of half double crochets, then you really start seeing that loop. It just kind of allows you to just go in it, and you don't have to really search for it. So we'll just do this for a few more moments and then go off camera and get it to the length that we need, and then I will be back. Keep going here for a few moments. I love this color. I will offer this hat up for sale when I'm completed with it. I haven't decided. It'll probably be in Etsy, because Etsy you can choose a lower shipping at cost. So if you're not familiar with like Poshmark has a fixed shipping. I believe it's like $7.95 for up to 10 pounds of item. So if you are selling like a heavier item, Poshmark is better, because like if I'm selling like a blanket, Poshmark is better with that, because they work out a deal for a better shipping with USPS. So usually I prefer to sell heavier items because it saves the customer a lot of money doing it with Poshmark. Now if you are selling like a hat, then Etsy, if that's your method, is better, because you can probably do like a $3.99, $4 shipping, which is the cost per USPS. So that worked out better. Now, if you go sell that same blanket that was 8 pounds or whatever on Etsy, the price for shipping could be way over $15. So it's kind of tricky, and a lot of customers don't understand that, because they prefer Etsy, and I get it, but it's like you really have to understand the shipping. Shipping is a huge cost. So sometimes you may be able to buy an item for $5, but if the shipping is $15, then it really doesn't make sense. But yeah, you just kind of have to pay attention to the platform that you're buying the items on, because every platform have a different shipping agreement or shipping rules with USPS or whatever shipping provider. So you can still kind of see like where we started. It always have like a little dip. As you keep going on, it will just blend in, because we are just doing that continuous method now. So we'll just keep going and going, no beginning or no ends. So yeah, I am going to stop at this moment, and then I will be back. Hey guys, Sarah here again. So this is where I am on this lovely hat. I decided to go a little longer than this one that I was kind of showing you guys earlier. So right now the entire length, and I haven't even started decreasing, is, do that here, it's about 8 inches. So once you get to the length that you feel is right for you, then you will start decreasing. So what I do to decrease this is I have 2 of those hooks. Every 6 stitches, I go ahead and I decrease 1. So every 6 stitch and then decrease, every 6 stitch and then decrease, until I get to where it is closed off enough. Now, of course, with this kind of pattern, that I love so much about it is that you can actually have easily turned this into a messy bun hat. After about half of this length, you could have actually started decreasing, and then once that hole gets to where it needs to be, you can either add a head tie, or you can just leave a small hole or whatever size for the messy bun. And then I've seen people do this trick with other patterns, where I don't know if you can kind of get the gist of it, but they'll actually cinch this. It won't be this long, but they'll cinch it and then do kind of like a headband, kind of like that. And then it'll have the brim and everything as normal, and then they'll do it as a headband. So alright, so I hope this camera is not moving too much. I think the spot I have it in, my leg keeps kicking it. Alright, so we are starting off with 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 6 half double back stitch, and then what we'll do is that we will how I do my decrease. I'll go ahead and yarn over, go in, grab from that first stitch, go in, grab from that second stitch, and then now I currently have 5 on my hook. I go ahead and pull it all the way until I have 2 and then 1. That's how I do it. I don't know if that's the right way to do it, but it's always worked for me. So then I'll go ahead and do the next 6 stitch. 3, 4, 5, and 6. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then decrease. So I'm going to keep doing that off camera, and once it gets close to the end, I will be back to show you guys. Hey guys, this is Sarah with Sarah Crochet, and I had to do a voiceover for this final part because I was out of frame completely. The first part I'm just showing, once we had worked the half double crochet 6 times and then decrease 1, continue that process until the top hole in the hat was about 2.5 to 3 inches. Then we went ahead and switched out to working a single crochet and then decrease, single crochet, decrease. So we went ahead and worked that pattern of single crochet, decrease until the hole in the hat became about 1 inch or so. And then at that time we will go ahead and secure the closure and then cut about a 10-inch tail for the yarn and thread that in and go ahead and weave that and close up the small 1 inch or so hole. I'm so sorry I was unable to get that on camera. It did turn out to be a 10-inch hat, 10-inch long, so it is a slouchy hat. I will include pictures of it on a mannequin. And then also, this is a lightweight hat. I like these because if you're somebody who cannot wear like really heavy hats, or maybe you're not in an area that it's like 5 below degrees, that level, this is a nice hat you can wear, when it's like 50 degrees or something like that, and it's still going to be very comfortable and not causing you to sweat a lot. So it's not a very hat that is for like really cold weather, I guess is what I'm trying to say. That's what I love it, because I can wear it with all my hair in it and then just be relaxed and not sweating. That's why I like this particular hat, because it's a very breathable hat is the word I'm really looking for. So it's really nice. I'm gonna have it, like I said, on the mannequin, and then also I will put this up in my Etsy shop, which will be in the description, the link to my Etsy shop, if anybody want to purchase it, or you can just contact me directly and make a direct purchase via payment on PayPal. So I have it all completed at this point. If you can see, I think I am trying to just get that hole in the top all closed up, and then of course I weave in all of my ends and get it all set up. Again, I'm so sorry guys, I was unable to get this part on video. I have a lot more projects that I'm gonna be video taping for my TikTok and also for YouTube. Really simple projects is what I love, so I will get all of that done, and hopefully you will subscribe and keep an eye out for my upcoming project. So we made one lovely, beautiful green, bright and vibrant slouchy hat today, and I hope you liked it, and thank you so much for sticking with me. Everyone have a great day, be blessed, and try out making this hat if you like it. Bye.